I'm Jenni Carlson here with Gina Mizell. We're in Stillwater, where Oklahoma State has lost to Texas 41-36. Gina, it was a shootout, sort of like we expected, but let's start with the Cowboy defense could not get off the field in third and fourth down situations. What was their biggest hang-up in those late down situations?
Well, you could look at it a couple of different ways. You could look at it as David Ash made a heck of a play on fourth down on that final drive in the last 2 minutes to keep that drive alive, or you could look at it just as the Oklahoma State defense didn't make a play, whether it was not making a tackle, maybe a call wasn't what was the best thing to be, or just not making a play. That's what Mike Gundy said, is that simply they just needed to make a play, and we saw it kind of rear its ugly head in the beginning of the game. On Texas' first drive, they converted 3 third downs. That led to the first touchdown pass from David Ash to a Jackson Shipley, and then it ended up burning them late in the game as well. So yeah, they were pretty good on first and second down. Third and fourth down, not so much. So that ended up being what costed them.
Texas 9 of 17 on third down, 3 of 3 on fourth down, obviously huge in this game. A lot of talk going into this game, of course, talking about the Oklahoma State quarterbacks, because Wes Lunt being hurt, J.W. Walsh playing that backup role, starting. He seemed to play fairly well. What was your feeling about J.W. Walsh in this game?
I mean, I think he did play pretty well. He had one really bad throw on the interception in the first quarter that then did end up leading to Texas' second touchdown. But overall, he made some good plays, and I think he performed the way that I would have expected him to perform. He, found Josh Stewart, his buddy, for a touchdown. He got Tracy Moore involved on a crucial drive in the second half that ended with a field goal, and he showed off his running ability. He had a great quarterback draw that turned into a 50-yard sprint down the sideline. So, they kind of obviously tweaked the game plan a little bit for him, but I think he performed as well as you would expect him to in this type of situation. He's certainly not the reason why they lost this game.
Neither is Joe Randall. He had a huge night, 199 yards. I mean, I was really surprised with the amount of room he had to run most of the night. Nod to the Oklahoma State offensive line. Joe Randall, what do you chalk that up to?
Definitely both. I mean, obviously Texas was without one of their starting linebackers. Jordan Hicks missed the game, and so there was probably a little bit of a hole there in the middle of that defense. But yeah, running the ball to the left side, running the ball up the middle, very successful for Joseph Randall, and they really needed him with Jeremy Smith getting knocked out of the game early on. So it was interesting, though, to see that Desmond Rowland was in the game on that last Cowboy drive that ended with a field goal that then wasn't enough points for this team. So, it was interesting to see. Maybe he was a little bit tired, maybe a little bit gassed. They called a timeout, then brought him back in on third down. So he was a workhorse, needed everything that this team needed. But again, it wasn't enough in the end in a wild, wild game.
Okay, lastly, let's look ahead, Gina. An off week coming up for the Cowboys, then they go to Kansas. What do you expect moving forward? Do you expect Wes Lunt back, and how do you expect this team to respond after now a 2-2 start?
Yeah, I mean, obviously a 2-2 start is not what this team envisioned with this loss and the loss to Arizona a couple of weeks ago. But I think, Wes Lunt is continuing to improve. Again, Mike Gundy even dangled the fact that he maybe perhaps would start this game, which I think none of us really believed it. But I think he is healing in rapid fashion, and so maybe if he's not back by the Kansas game, I would expect by the next week. I mean, it's 2 weeks until Kansas, so he's got another couple weeks to heal. So, getting him back, I think, will be a huge lift. Again, he's the one that's designed to run this system. He's the one that won the starting quarterback job, so he's the one that should run this offense. And, looking defensively, I mean, they played badly against Arizona. They played better tonight, but just weren't able to get off the field, like you said, in those crucial situations. So this team needs to learn how to finish, and Mike Gundy actually said that he took some positives out of this game of how they responded in certain situations against what people think is a pretty good Texas team. So I'm curious to see now how this team is gonna play for the rest of the Big 12 season, because obviously with how wild this Big 12 race is, one loss certainly isn't gonna end your season. So there's still lots to play for this team, but a tough one here tonight. So it'll be interesting to see how they respond.
All right, be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.